Hey Leo, how you doing? So this is the start of your 2-week forecast, taking you from the new moon in Gemini right the way through to the full moon in Sagittarius on the 11th of June. My name's Louisa Tanner. If you're new to this channel, welcome. The way I use astrology is to, I think, give you a sense of ease and space, and to recognize how the planetary energies can be used to your advantage rather than you being a victim of them. That's my whole purpose here. If you've been here before, welcome back. Now, this is a really interesting 2-week cycle because, the new moon in Gemini is super airy. There's 5 planets in the air signs, and the chart is so very precisely aspected. There's a very, very strong pattern. And I think it's going to bring forth a whole flood of interesting information and possibly shocking information. Now, where that is moving to 2 weeks later with the full moon in Sagittarius is it's moving into a chaotic and I would say very challenging chart that is bringing up a sense of boldness, courage, and a call to action. I really think that what's coming in right now at the start of the new moon in Gemini, right the way through to the full moon in Sagittarius, is this new impulse that becomes an action. And so what I'm going to do in this next short bit is really show you how I see those landing for you as a Leo. And I don't know if you're looking at this because you've got Leo ascendant or Leo sun, but from my perspective, they all work. I get feedback. I mean, I designed them for the ascendant, but people feedback and say it works for my sun really well. So anyway, let's get started. If you did want to know more about this particular moment in time, and it is a very strong moment in time for sure, then check out my video that has that particular thumbnail, Air to Fire, because that's where I've put in information about the new moon chart and the full moon chart and all of those bits in between, plus advice from the Sabian symbols as well. And I've kind of wrapped it up. It's not specific to all the signs, but it's for everybody. So that could be very helpful. Anyway, let's get going. Actually, before I bring up the charts, I just want to say thank you to everybody that has really commented, bought me a coffee, given me a super chat, who has sponsored my show, sponsored this channel. I really appreciate you. You might also be members of my membership on School. However you're helping me out, I really, really appreciate you, because you're helping me to do what I absolutely love to do all the time. So thank you. Anyway, this forecast period is taking us from, like I said, the new moon in Gemini at 6 degrees in the sign of Gemini, right the way through. You'll see the moon moves from here right the way down to Sagittarius. Now, what you'll notice is each of these are a house in the birth charts, and this is going this new moon and full moon are going across the polarity of the 11th house and also the 5th house. Now, these are really creative houses. One here, I think this is about you coming into your sense of joy about yourself, where you're very creative and you're creating from that sense of your truth, the thing that really makes you feel glad to be alive. That's that sense of promise. It's a place of passion. It's also a place of intimacy with partners. It's also a place of new beginnings. So it's a beautiful place, in fact. It's not necessarily social, because what you're creating, you kind of want to keep it to yourself a little bit because it just feels so good. And then when we come to this side of the chart, this is a place of friendships and feeling joy through your friendships and what you might be creating with your friendships and networks and friends of friends. It's also a place of your partner's children as well, in case you're a step parent. But this part of the chart is really, I think, a place for the law of attraction as well. This is a place where you might be collaborating with another person or a company or another entity. You could be collaborating with the universe, which is outside of yourself, or maybe not actually, but this is a place of deep collaboration. And it's also a place that if you're collaborating, you can't control it, because other people, other friends, networks, and the law of attraction or the universe can come in and also impact what you're creating. Whereas down here, you can kind of safeguard it a little bit, like a pregnant mum. I mean, this is also a place of giving birth and having children, and the pregnancy. And with that, you're creating something, but you're also really protecting your belly. You're not letting anyone near you. So that's the kind of energy I really see. Self-creation to co-creation are the key words here. And so that's an important part of this journey over the next 2 weeks, is you're coming from a very, very collaborative place. And the stellium of this new moon in Gemini is connecting to Pluto in the 7th. So it really feels like you're collaborating something really quite big, really quite amazing. And about 2 weeks later, after some of the excitement has, got you fired up and got you on a particular road, a particular path, you may very well suddenly start to think, oh my goodness, this feels a little bit awkward because I'm putting my time into this. Everyone else is putting their time into this, and this isn't matching my vision. So I think there is a perspective of where vision goes wrong, or where you're really not comfortable about how the vision is executed. So I really see that whatever you're creating right at the start, you feel a million miles from there come the time of the full moon. Now, if you know that you do have this tendency, and that actually as a proud Leo, and Leos do like to perform and keep very, very central in a project. If this doesn't feel like you, if being so collaborative with other people feels a little bit off because you're not getting your opportunity to niche and be yourself and feel that sort of sense of identity, then it may be that the way you've started this off is just off. It just doesn't quite feel right. And if you're aware of that, then what I would say is around the time of the new moon, when you're discussing ideas and collaborating, I mean, I would say the best thing is, collaborating with the universe. Where, the universe is actually responding to what you're putting out there in your energetics. But, the human people that you might be co-creating with, they're not going to necessarily pick up on your energy in the way that you want. So yeah, I think it's worth considering, because things are going to manifest, or could manifest, very, very quickly under this new moon in Gemini. Absolutely. Now, something that I find really great about this particular forecast for you is that you've got Mars going through your first house. He's been there for a long time, but Mars is getting stronger and stronger as he's going through this first house. You're feeling stronger in yourself. You're feeling a lot more courageous to know who you are and what you're not, so that you don't feel like you have to have your boundaries up all the time. Like now, I think you feel very calm to say, yes, this is for me. Thank you for inviting me. Or absolutely not. No, thanks. It just isn't a match for me. I think you've got that appreciation of what's coming in and what's staying out. So you don't actually need boundaries. You don't need some kind of boundary or mechanism in the place. You're grown up enough, courageous enough, and assertive enough to be able to manage all data coming in. You accept some, you discern with some, and you maybe push some back. So I think this is a really nice way to be. In the last 6 months or so, with the opposition between Mars and Pluto going on in this very part of the chart, it would have felt very difficult to manage those and sidestep those. And you might have had to really put up some boundaries, because it felt like people were really imposing themselves on your sense of freedom. And so now you're feeling much freer. And one of the great things about this is that Venus and Chiron are in this beautiful connection with Mars throughout this whole 2-week period. Look, there they are. They're still there. Venus has just moved on a bit. Now, this Venus and Chiron conjunction is taking place on the 1st. The 1st is a really important date, actually. Venus makes a conjunction to Chiron in the 9th house, really showing that any pain that has come up about you being different, any pain that has come up about you being from the wrong place, from not having the right information, or from, being of a different religious background or a different political background, anywhere where you felt exposed or possibly bullied or ostracized, anything like that. There is a point to heal this. I really feel like there's an opportunity for you to kind of forgive yourself, forgive others, and to be able to move on. This is really strong. And again, this really relates back to my, what I was saying earlier about you don't need to have boundaries. Maybe you've had to have boundaries in the past because you couldn't trust your own responses to other people's bigotry, or slightly off behaviors when they find out a piece of information about you, and then make a whole kind of speech about you, or create a whole idea about you. So I do think in your desire for freedom, actually things are starting to come together, and you're able to accept yourself being slightly different, or being in a slightly different space, But B, you're also now thinking or able to think, you know what? People are allowed to have their own opinions, and yes, they might have a weird opinion about me which I don't agree with, and I'm okay with that. So I really see that you're coming into this great big space of peace around all of this. At the same time, on the 1st of June, Mercury makes a conjunction to the sun. We've got that very strong Mercury cazimi in a lovely trine to Pluto. It's also working with Saturn and Neptune, and I think there's this kind of new understanding about friends. There's a new understanding about networks and people coming into your life. So I do think you're getting a kind of social upgrade or some kind of information about how things can run. Now, interestingly, Venus is going to be moving into the sign of Taurus. And then we've got literally within the space of 3 days, we've got Venus going into Taurus. We've got Mercury coming into a conjunction with Jupiter and then going into Cancer, and then Jupiter coming into Cancer. So there's these two big moves. I just want to run through them because these are all adding into this sort of energy and intrigue of the full moon for you. So Venus coming into the top of the chart is really, I think, going to give you a sense of your own mastery. Your own star is shining, so maybe the idea of collaborating with other people isn't what you need. Maybe actually you're actually calm being your own star, which is very much a Leo thing, and you're very comfortable there. You're feeling healed enough, and there's this feeling that people are just working with you, which is really nice. And then Jupiter and Mercury coming into the 12th house here in the sign of Cancer is really showing you that there's this energy of release, of inward conversation, inward knowing, and a deepening of your intuition. So again, I don't think you want to be in this really social part of your chart. I actually think, as this 2-week forecast goes through to the end and the full moon in Sagittarius, I actually think you're coming back into yourself with a sense of curiosity, a sense of intuition, and a sense of actually, I need a bit of peace. I need a bit of separation. I'm getting myself good. I'm taking my time, and I know that everything is going to be okay. So I think that's where I feel like this is really leading to, that really this whole 2-week period is about self-care. Now, talking about self-care, I've got something for you that you might find of interest, which is my membership. Because if you like the feel of my forecast for you, and if you find it usually useful, then I also do a love forecast and also a career and ambitions forecast at the same time. And I go even deeper. So I take all of this information from today and I go even deeper on a love theme or a career and money theme. And I do this every 2 weeks. So in the space of a month, you would get 4 readings for all the signs of the zodiac. You've got access to them, which means you can check them out for your sun sign, your ascendant. You can also check it out for your loved ones if you choose to. I also do a daily 5-minute update for the day ahead. I do it the day before, so you've got a feel for what's going on every day. Every 2 weeks, I also have a live group where we can connect and we can explore a chart together. As my group grows, I'm going to have different time zones I'm going to work within, but these groupinars, we're talking about all things astrological and possibly psychological. Where there's an astrological theory, we might explore it within our charts together. And even if you're new to astrology, I'm absolutely sure that if you're able to join us, we can show you how the patterning of the cosmos is affecting you in your everyday life. So it's quite helpful. I also have a morning drop-in, and also if you were thinking about getting a consultation, but maybe not just now, as part of the membership, you also get access to 20% off. So that's actually quite beneficial. So there's a feel for it. So you got your love, your success, and your daily updates. And it's also a place to come and hang out with really empathic, kind, loving, and curious people. So lots and lots of love to you. If you fancy that, it's at school.com/feelgood astrology. But have a fantastic 2 weeks ahead and catch you real soon. Lots of love. Bye for now.